We want to use all information toward healing and our spiritual unfoldment. So when I'm talking and I'm saying we can't quite explain it, all of these things we can't quite explain it. So we look for that information. Even so, there are things when I'm working with people, there can be curses, but I'm looking for that and labeling it as a way to clear that and get rid of it. Okay, and they're always there for a reason of some lesson we need to. Sometimes we just need it, that struggle to learn. So that's kind of what it's like. As opposed, if everything was totally perfect and fine all the time, we wouldn't learn a lot of times. I don't totally agree with that, but a lot of times that's true. I do believe in learning through seeing positive examples and learning that way, but you really have to choose into it. In the same way, my near-death experience was a kick in my butt. I needed to be more spiritual. Sometimes we need a kick in the butt to do that. So, you can't not be in the right place. That is, it just 100% cannot be. There are some choices within what is the right place, so there are ways to choose into better and nicer and gentler and more loving things. And if you're feeling that way, that is part of your learning. Like, how do you get those things better, be in a more positive place? And this, I could say journal writing is really good for that, but also and meditation, but following those things inside of you that are just kind of cool, or whatever gets your mojo going, or it could be mopping the floor. It's easy to see the work I do, how amazingly cool it is, but I also cook. I used to be a chef. That's really amazingly cool. I get to work with pretty high-level athletes. That's really cool. Businessmen, I have a client who is so good at making money. It's like the spirit comes in there, and this guy just, even that can be a really cool thing. So whatever that thing is, years ago I taught this. It was in person, did one of these things like this, and it was a woman saying, "Oh, I know I'm spiritual in this," and it's like I could see right away. And a lot of times it's true, being a parent, her being a mother, and it's like, wow, that's like the most spiritual thing in the world. So, and as soon as she got that, you could see her eyes lit up and go, and she connected to it internally, as well as getting that information. So somewhere in each person is that message about what is that really cool, awesome thing that you could do to express who you are in this world. Just follow that. That's the main thing. That thing you're talking about is not a curse in your family. So part of the reason of labeling things is how to clear it and get rid of it. So, but we could look through the genetics or the hereditary thing. So there are different lines there, and we can just send the light to that. Sometimes it is you have to take the steps and go, no, I'm going to stop the family karma or whatever you call it and go, I'm going to be different. And sometimes that's what you do. There are ways to clear curses. There's ways to clear these negative things. And it's so what I usually look to a past life where that pattern happened or where it started, and ask for the light to come in. By bringing it up into our consciousness and asking for a blessing, or again, there are different words you could use there. You let that spiritual light in. When I work with people, like those couple of people, the energy just came in right away. That's my intention. It is my intention to be of service in that way, to be open to God's love and God's light. And then that is it. There, so that's the thing you do, and use every bit of information for that. Whether it's, there's so many things, like a kind of food you like, or if you have allergies, there's acupuncture points that are blocked, or aches and pains in your body. It's like, well, what is the information in there that can unfold God's love and light for me? And that's like, it's starting to open up just because I asked for it. And it's like, yeah. And then you don't even need to necessarily know why. Sometimes we need to get a lot of information before that door opens up. Sometimes it just, God help me, and it starts to happen. the answer to that about everything is yes. So, and so I can start to see something there. That person has a past life that it looks like they chose caring about animals over their family. And so we'll send light to that. So that's not in this lifetime. Sometimes we have things we need to spend time in. A lot of times things can be cleared, but sometimes, so something like that, it looks like we can clear most of it, and we'll see how much can happen in this short time. So you just want to breathe and let some light. There's like a purple, blue, more lavenderish light that comes in. Okay, so that person just connected into the spirit about that, and so they might start to feel something moving. If they don't feel it, it's fine. It's definitely moving. What I do is kind of what I was doing there. So I mostly work on the phone and over video, and I have actually for many years. I started doing that like 15 years ago. Some of it is my daughter, who's about to turn 17, was young, and her mom was going back to work, and I just felt like it'd be better for her if I was home more, so I started working on the phone. People call me about all sorts of things: physical, emotional, spiritual, mental, business, relationship stuff. And I look at, usually it includes looking at past life things and clearing those patterns up, and the negative energy that comes in, and kind of preys on our weaknesses. The negative energy's job is to strengthen us, really, but it gets a little carried away, like it feels like challenging us, even though it's supposed to strengthen us. It doesn't. Sometimes it over challenges us, so we can get rid of some of that stuff. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of things. You're talking about the family line. That might be something to correct. There can be, also, I'm not a medical doctor, but so spiritually things can come up that are physical, that can clear. Dietary things, vitamins, any of that stuff. Mostly what it is I get this very positive energy in there. And as I said, a lot of times I'm talking to people about this stuff, and then the energy kind of sneaks in behind, and they obviously go, oh, I feel better, what happened? Some of the very cool spiritual teachers and healing teachers that I studied with that definitely have amazing things, either spiritually or healing physically, they had near-death experiences, so I know it is somewhat of a thing. It kind of gives us a look into this other dimension or level or whatever you want to call it in a way without our physical body, so there is no doubt about it. And, in the times in my physical life when I have doubts, I can just think of that and go, no, it's real. Even though part of me thinks it's not. That it's like, and so I've studied, I have made it my life's mission, and I study a lot with people. I've gone to school. There's always more. And if you think there's not, you're wrong. There's always more to do, and you can always go further and learn more. I'm always looking, how can I help people more? I'm very good at not labeling things, but I notice my mind comes in and wants to know what something is. And that's like, well, how can I do that without holding back that spiritual part? It's really cool. I like doing the live and working with people. It's very cool. The different questions that come in. It really, because you can talk about it, but when it happens, that's the really cool thing.